What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some r/AmITheA butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along a timeline below, so please feel free to use them. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it massively helps out our channel. And I just want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me over the past few days. Been a wild one, but you guys have been amazing, so thank you so much. And we do have some member updates. We have AmITheA with a rejoin, Fred Gomez with a rejoin, and Tegan Corner joined us. So thank you so much for your support, time, and love. And let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys, you spicy so-and-sos. And our first story, we're going to start off with Alran1. Am I the arsehole for telling my niece she is like one of my kids, but then not helping her financially the way I have helped my own kids? I, 67 male, have 2 kids, a son 31 male and a daughter 29 female. My sister died 24 years ago, leaving behind a daughter, Nina, who is now 27. Nina lived with an aunt and cousins from the other side of the family after her mum died. I sent this aunt money every month until she was 17. Nina's father died several months before she was born. I am wealthy. I own a couple of rental properties, including a large lake house that generates a lot of income. One of the houses I inherited from my mother, who died several years ago. Nina went to college on scholarships and has mainly supported herself since she turned 18. When she was 22 and wanted to move into an apartment with roommates but needed a guarantor, she asked me. I said no, I did not want it to impact my credit. Nina then got a second job so that she could qualify as her own guarantor. She has not asked me for money since. When my son and his wife wanted a townhouse in our area, I gave them cash for the offer and we arranged for them to pay me back. I recently bought my daughter a car. I paid cash so she would not have to pay huge interest and it would not impact her credit. She is paying me back monthly. I am also paying for her to try and finish her bachelor's degree. She has depression and has been pursuing this degree for over 6 years now. She lives with me. Recently, my daughter told Nina about the various ways I have helped her and her brother over the years. I've told Nina since she was a teenager that she is like one of my kids. We are very close. Lately, she has distanced herself from me, not answering texts and not coming for dinner every other week. She says that she feels very hurt at the amount of help I've given my own kids and just wishes I hadn't said, "You're like one of my own kids," if I did not really mean it. She says she just wishes I hadn't said that. It would not have given her unrealistic expectations. She is also sad that her grandmother left her nothing in her will and that everything will eventually go to my children. And there's a small edit which says I finally supported her while she was growing up. The total monetary amount over the years I gave to her aunt was caring for her roughly equivalent to the value of half the lake house. I did my part. You know, what OP did in this situation, paying money for them until they were 17, was a great thing to do, and giving that support was great. But niece is totally right in the situation. You are going to be the arsehole simply because you said, "You're just like one of my kids," when, come on, that's not true. This post set, it shows it's not true. Because while she was giving your own children loans and stuff like that, you didn't want to be her guarantor, as you did not want it to impact your credit, which in itself says it all, really, doesn't it? So yes, you are going to be the arsehole in this situation, to me anyway, but other people may have different opinions, which I'm always willing to be educated on. You know that. But let's move on to the comments to see what they say. And we'll start off with the Kelsey21 saying, "You're the arsehole. Your dead sister's daughter asked for help for one thing and you told her no, whereas you're basically coddling your own kids with said wealth. If she was coming to you every other week and asking for money, sure, cut her off, but she asked you for one thing and it wasn't money. I'd distance myself too. You should be ashamed of yourself." And Hello Detour says, "You're the arsehole. Nina is right. You gave her unrealistic expectations, and that does make you the arsehole. You don't see Nina as your child, and that's fine, but you didn't need to lie to her." And Cabbage says, "You're the arsehole because you could have helped her with very little risk or inconvenience to yourself. Why didn't you share the inheritance with her? Why should your kids inherit it all and her none?" And MDF says, "Dude, you've given your children the most valuable thing, a father. Your insensitivity towards this girl after saying her, your dead sister's daughter, was like a daughter to you. You're the arsehole and you know it. You took a sense of belonging away from her that you should be ashamed of yourself for doing. And what, for a credit score? Lol, you say you're rich. Give me a break. Or I'm not rich if an insecurity of a credit score makes you not help your dead sister's daughter." And Rune Dude says, "You're the arsehole, absolutely. I did not want to mess up my credit." And then says, "Enjoy hell." With Last Kid saying, "It's a mixed message problem. You say you're like one of my own kids, but your actions don't reflect that. I would be hurt also, and you also say that you think of me as your kid, but you won't help like you help your other children. I would also pull away and be kinda angry. I have a feeling she knows that you are wealthy also, so you're not helping her when she knows you can, adds insult to injury. You're the arsehole." And Cutish says, "You're the arsehole. You have the means to help her out on the one thing she's asked you. You're already wealthy and comfortable, but you're forcing her to work 2 jobs, and it wasn't even like she was asking you for money. You said she basically supported herself since she was 18. There was no reason to think she would damage your credit score when she already sounds responsible. You made her work herself just to avoid a slight chance of a ding in your credit. That's pretty selfish, and you clearly wouldn't treat your own children that way." And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story comes from Yellow Chai Tea. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to take our niece on vacation in 2022? My husband and I do not have kids, but many nieces and nephews. A number of years ago, when we were in late 20s and finally financially secure, our eldest niece was in senior year of high school and we decided to take her on a beach vacation for a week. This has since become a tradition, where we take the nibbling on a vacation during their senior year. Since this began, there has always been one nibbling each year. Then in 2020-2023, there are no nibblings graduating high school, so we won't be taking one on vacation until 2024. We've always made it clear it's a senior trip, and not just us working our way through them. We intentionally want to do it this ways, as we do not want to travel with younger teenagers and children. They are 17 to 18 when we take them, which means we can give them their own room. We keep a key and do adjoining rooms, but that gives us all privacy. They can do more excursions and we can meet them for breakfast or leave them unsupervised if we want to get a drink and snack. We don't need to actively monitor them by water, and it's so much easier to airport travel with 17 to 18-year-olds. A couple of weeks ago, our sister-in-law said Jess was looking forward to planning her trip with us. Jess is next in line, currently in grade 9. Husband said she's rather eager since her trip is in 2024, but so great she's excited. Sister-in-law gave us death glares and asked if we had misaged her, and sister-in-law said no. Jess is grade 9, but assumed she would be going in 2022, since she's next in line. Sister-in-law had ordered her travel books to help her plan, which we found odd as we involve the nibbling in the planning, but we give them limited choices. They don't get a carte blanche. We usually give them a choice of 3 locations, then from there a choice of resort. We told her that the trip is for senior year, so she needs to wait until 2024. Sister-in-law was angry, and Jess has had a hard time with the pandemic. So we offered to fly her out to visit us for a week. We live in a major city, for a change of scenery, but the trip still isn't until 2024. Sister-in-law is furious, Jess is disappointed but seems to get it. The older nibblings are on our side and said it was a fun thing for them in their senior year, while other adults are conflicted, with some thinking we should just go through the list, taking one nibbling a year, regardless of age. We are not parents, so maybe we aren't as empathetic as we should be. So are we the arseholes for wanting to wait until our nibblings are in senior year to take them on vacation? Edit, nibbling equals gender neutral term for niece and nephew, did not realise it was weird until now. Edit, the first child we did this for was Jess, older half sister. Their biological dad, husband's brother, was widowed and had our eldest niece, then remarried to Jess's mother and had Jess and 2 more kids. This might be a factor in sister-in-law's reaction, I have no idea. Edit, we have talked to Jess directly, she is not upset, she was disappointed that her trip wasn't next year but understood the purpose of the trip. We've given her some location ideas as her mother has suggestions that are the opposite side of the world. Now I've got to come straight into this one with the entitlement, man. How entitled can you be that you're getting angry that someone's going to take your daughter on a trip, man? Wow. I think if I was that parent, I'd be glad that they would be taking them just to do anything, if they was to taking them to dinner, if they bought them a takeout, I'd be so grateful for that. Just for a relative to be making my daughter happy and taking time out of their day to do it is absolutely amazing. And sister-in-law's getting upset and wants to book a trip the other side of the world. How entitled is that? That's madness. Absolutely not the arsehole at all. You are amazing humans for doing this. But the Bainey says, it sounds like you made it pretty clear that it's a senior trip, not the arsehole, and how entitled is sister-in-law thinking she gets to complain about when you're taking her kid on an all expenses paid vacation. And JM Alko says, not the arsehole, your trip, your rules. Your sister-in-law shouldn't be horning in on the planning. And Beautiful Mistake says, not the arsehole, I think what you guys are doing for your nibblings is beyond generous and so amazing. Sister-in-law is an arsehole for telling her child otherwise. You have made it clear from the start. She didn't even talk to you about it first. She just bought travel books and is telling her child to pick a place. That's entitlement. I will tell her to stop and you're just going to stop the tradition. If anyone ruins it, it's going to be her. And Romper Stomper says, not an arsehole. You made it clear that it's a senior trip. Your sister-in-law is the arsehole. And Off Kilter Pendulum says, not the arsehole. One suggestion though, if part of things is to give us something to look forward to, explain more why you want to wait until senior year, the independence aspect. Then go ahead and pick the 3 places and tell her she can start researching them to know which one she'd like to explore in 2024. Since she is old enough to go off on her own and do whatever she wants then. You can also say how some of those things she wouldn't get to do if she went sooner because you'd be more responsible for her. That she will have a better trip this way. I think just researching and fantasizing about the trip will distract from current times and cheer her up some, and tell her it will keep being something to look forward to the rest of high school. And finally, Heather Ann says, not the arsehole. It sounds like these parents need to be on the choosing beggar sub. It's incredibly generous of you to do this and should be appreciated by everyone. It sounds like all the kids appreciate it and understand, but the parents are less mature. They made the mistake of telling the kid their trip is next year and expect you to fix that mistake. It's your gift and your choice when the gift happens. And now I turn this one to you guys. What would you do in this situation? Would you cancel the trip completely, although it's not fair on the niece still? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from Avenger Wolf 626. Am I the arsehole? My brother woke me up extremely intoxicated at 5 AM. He thinks I overreacted. Okay, so I'm 16 female and I live with my dad and older brother 19. My older brother is a drinker. He will go out with his mates, get intoxicated to the point where he will get in the house at 3, 4 or 5 AM and create drunken shenanigans for about an hour. This is a regular occurrence. He frequently comes into my room and wakes me, which my dad has warned him not to do before. Last night for the millionth time, he came in around 5 o'clock and woke me. He was babbling about something but wasn't making any coherent sense. I repeatedly told him to get out and he eventually did. I got up this morning and decided I had enough and told my dad to get me a lock for my bedroom so I can sleep in peace. Apparently he found out and came into my room and started insulting me, calling me a baby who always gets her way, and a bitch. At that point I just told him to get out of my room. He seems to think I overreacted, but I don't think I should need to get a lock from my bedroom just to be able to sleep in my own house. I just want to be able to go to sleep and not be woken up until my alarm. I genuinely don't understand what he's angry about. I just want a lock for my privacy. Did I overreact? Am I the arsehole? Edit, my dad is dealing with the situation. He had a stern talk with my brother and plans to have an even sterner talk when he isn't hungover. He also agreed to not only buy the lock, but put it in for me. He said that shit is going to hit the fan in the next few days for my brother. Edit 2, just want to say thanks for the honesty, advice and support. I really appreciate it. I see now that my brother is the arsehole here and not me. Really appreciate you guys. I'll give you guys an update if anything else happens. And we're going to start straight away with Chairmanka saying, not the arsehole. What the fuck? Your brother is insane to be upset at that. Your parents should have got you a lock months ago. And Squirrels Are Evil saying, not the arsehole. Your brother doesn't want to acknowledge his bad behaviour, so he blames you for not tolerating it. He's deflecting his anger at himself onto you. He has a drinking problem and is trying to hide it by pretending his actions are normal. I will talk to your dad and brother and address his drinking issues. Thanks for the awards. And I don't know what to write here says, not the arsehole, your brother needs help for his drinking and asking for a lock is not a big deal. And Aline says, not the arsehole, and also, just because he's drunk doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. I hate when people use alcohol for a reason to be arseholes. He should be respecting your privacy, and since he isn't, a lock makes sense. And Book Reader says, not the arsehole, not only is his behaviour awful, it's also creepy. I don't want any dude coming into my bedroom while I'm sleeping, not even my brother. And now I turn this one to you guys. What would you do in this situation if you was put into OP's shoes? How would you deal with it? Does a lock make sense? Would you confront the brother about his drinking? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for refusing to pay for a photo that my sister took professionally? I've been with Sarah for 7 years, and in that time she's gone through some extreme fluctuations in weight. Sarah was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes December 2019. Before the diagnosis, she was very skinny, and I know she still worries about the weight she's put on since getting her condition medicated. We've also had a child since her diagnosis, which is adding to her stress about her weight. It's been a very emotional time. We're dieting, but Sarah is a compulsive eater. I'm not sure if all this information is necessary, but I thought information would be helpful. My sister is aware of Sarah's problems when it comes to food and body image. We wanted to take some proper family photos of us and our son, and whilst we were going to hire someone else, my mother nagged us into hiring my sister. She did go to college for photography, and she does it as a side gig, so we agreed to hiring her. She took some nice photos, and we told her we'd pay half and then pay half upon receiving the photos. I received the photos, and the first thing I noticed was the editing. It wasn't a little touch up here and there, but rather quite a bit. My wife is by no means overweight, and so what if she was? My wife's body weight doesn't concern my sister. If I had hired another professional, they wouldn't have cared about my wife's weight. It's unprofessional and quite frankly, a shit thing to do to a family in my opinion, especially when you go in aware of the issues. I outright refuse to pay. I'm not paying for photos and getting them framed knowing my wife will use them as something to shame herself for. This is causing conflict in my family because my sister has a certain aesthetic she likes to stick on her website. My mother has told me she feels guilty and wasn't thinking. She's only 20 and very naive. She needs the money for travel to get to university and back. Sister has offered to send over the unedited versions for a discounted price, but honestly, I'd rather pay another photographer that isn't ashamed of my wife's body. I can't even tell you the amount of text from family I'm getting because I'm an arsehole in their eyes because my sister feels bad and said she needs the money. Am I the arsehole? Nope, you're definitely not the arsehole. Editing someone's photos like that is absolutely arsehole behavior. You know, if someone requested it, then they wanted the photos edited, then that's on them. They can make that choice. They can make that choice to the photographer, but this was totally unprofessional to do. Waffle time, guys. I've recently had this issue because my other job is I do content creation for another company, and I do photos and videos and stuff like that, and I have to go into a photography studio to get pictures and videos of our machines, and the photographer just recently has been a pain in my ass. I'm trying to make a video and I know the shots that I need, I know the videos that I need, but he always comes up with, oh no, what we need to do is, and it's like, no, this is the shots that I need. And while I respect his decision as a photographer and knowing what shots he might think is useful, I know what I need in my videos. I'm the editor of the videos, so in the end, you know, I had to get shirty with it and just say, no, this is what I need. Didn't go down well, but that's a story for another time. But what I'm saying is, you know, you can't just go around editing people's photos willy-nilly any way you like and expect them to be accepted. And I absolutely wouldn't be paying for those photos either, so I cannot blame you. But Unlikely Draft says, not the arsehole, and thank you for being an awesome advocate for your wife. Your sister needs to learn this lesson, full stop. She's in an industry that her opinions don't matter, the clients do. If she were being professional about the situation, she'd offer to rectify it free of charge. There is nothing wrong with a little retouching of photographs, but changing them so much that they don't look like the people in the pic or changing people's bodies is a definite no-no. She's not a high fashion mag photographer. That kind of retouching has no place in family photos. Now, if someone came to her and said that's what they were looking for, that's another story. But most people don't want their images to do anything but reflect the happiness of them and their families, with light correction and very small editing. And Typical Aquarius says, not the arsehole, your sister is learning an important lesson about her trade. A photographer should never alter reality without the enthusiastic and explicit request by the customer to do so. It's better for her to learn this lesson from family rather than offend a random customer that's much more likely to post publicly online about how terrible/tone deaf of a photographer she is. ETA, the comment about making her photos fit her aesthetic for a website. When you're paying full price for photos, you run the show. If she wants a specific portfolio for a website, she can offer discounts or do stage shoots. And Vanda Joy says, not the arsehole, your sister is a jerk for doing that. Followed by Dizzy Daydream saying, not the arsehole, no photographer should edit your face or body in any noticeable way without your permission and consent in my opinion. I'd refuse to pay too, family or not. And Downtown Advantage says, not the arsehole, it's so rude and downright disrespectful to do that. I'm 20 and know better. I totally understand and I'm so sorry for Sarah. I used to be a model and photographers would ask if they could edit out my self-harm scars and it would really hurt me when I said no and they did it anyways. You're not an arsehole, but your family sure is. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation and what would you do in it? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for changing my mind on the custody agreement? My 29 male, ex 24 female, and I share custody of our daughter, Julie 5. Custody is as follows. Julie is with her mother Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and with me Thursday, Friday. I was meant to pick up Julie early Thursday, 6:40 AM to get her to school, but was asked to work Thursday instead. Usually I work weekends and have Thursday, Friday off to spend with my daughter, even though she's at school. It was an all-day job with a lot of travel. I offered to pick Julie up late Thursday and spend Friday with her, and she came down with a cold. We spent Friday messaging through Xbox instead. Come today, I'm messaging with my ex about Monday. She's at hospital, so I was meant to have Julie till late Tuesday. So I wanted to confirm the pickup time and drop-off time. Ex responded, due to issues with custody agreement on your side, I have asked my mother to look after Julie Monday 6:40 AM until Tuesday 8 AM, where she will drop Julie off at school. Collection will be done by me, and I will see you on our agreed custody agreement at 6:40 AM Thursday. I messaged her because it's shitty to change your mind over this when all I did was miss custody due to work. It isn't the first time I've had to work on our agreed custody time. I've missed maybe 9 Thursdays, Fridays over the course of a year due to work. She's apparently upset with me over missing custody on late notice when yes, I could have turned down working because I didn't need to, but let's face it, who turns down work? She goes to uni when Julie is at school instead of working, so it has significantly easier than what I do when it comes to custody. She said she's not going to stop with agreed custody, but no more spontaneous days out because I'm unreliable. I think totally over the top reaction. Am I the arsehole? Oh dear. And N. Hannon says, you're the arsehole. First you admit to missing close to 20% of the time you should be getting her. Then you cancelled last minute by choosing your work over your daughter. Your daughter will remember this as she gets older. And this Lean says, and replies to it saying, you're the arsehole, let me get this straight. You have your daughter 2 days a week and almost 1 week per month you flake on your custody. You chose to go into work when you didn't have to, so you don't get to use work as an excuse. You take your daughter when it's convenient and you feel like it. Otherwise, you expect your ex to cover for you. Of course you're the arsehole, grow up and be a better father. And I Ride the Short Bus says, you're the arsehole. You know who turns down work? Fathers who recognise that family comes first. And Obitadicta says, and quotes, yes, I could have turned down working because I didn't need to, but let's face it, who turns down work? And then says, you're the arsehole, you barely see your daughter. The 2 days you have custody, she's at school all day. You've already dipped out on nearly 20% of your custody time, yet you're still willing to lose even more time to pick up work when you don't need to. And Why Comment Queasy says, as I read it, you have an official custody agreement that you violated. Your ex is tired of letting it slide and is enforcing the agreement to let her know. If that seems accurate, you're the arsehole. And one more from Holly Go Lately saying, when I broke up with the father of my kids, I offered 50-50 custody. Didn't want to, but I thought it was best for the kids. He wasn't interested, only wanted 2 days, and often would turn up hours late or find reasons he couldn't stick to it. Then wanted to change it all. 10 years later, they can't be bothered with him and are too old to be made to go. Kids remember who was there, who turned down work. It's about the child, it's not about you. You're the arsehole. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation and how do you think it should be dealt with? Do you think OP can come back from this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now once again guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking the time, the oh so precious time out of your day to be here and spend 20 minutes or so with me, listen to some stories. It means the absolute world. You know how precious you are to me. You're absolute bloody legends. Thank you so much and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys. Much love.